Hey adventurers, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Jenda, and this is my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. In the last episode, we finished up our quests for the gods by killing a sky dragon in Hylia's temple, and we're now headed back to Teir Evron to commune with the gods once again, report in, and decide whose blessing to take. Right, well, Hylia first. You kneel. While you pray, you feel the space around your body shift and melt, and you find yourself in a vision of the mountaintop temple. Yet you see neither worshippers nor a dragon, but a tree. Its limbs wrap around the perimeter of the temple, tapering into twigs and branches of all sizes and angles. They seem too long and too numerous to be held up by the meager trunk, but they hold steady in the breeze. A single sparrow lands on the nearest branch. It watches you. Throw a rock at it. What do I look like, suicidal? I will whistle to it. You whistle the first tune that pops into your head. The sparrow blinks its beady eyes and hops closer to you along the branch. It bobs its tiny head and opens its beak, and the rich, trilling melody that spills forth is the song of a chorus of birds. A massive flock descends with a thundering of wings and whooping, screeching, chirping calls. They fill the boughs of the tree by the thousands, birds of every shape, size, and color nestling next to one another. Pelagina sighs heavily. To be honest, I really can't stand bird. No, that was Russian. I don't. A breeze ripples through the air. The limbs sway, creaking with a strange, gentle rhythm. A few hundred of the birds flit from their branches, forming a brilliantly variegated flock in front of the tree. As they meet and swoop in unison, you catch a glimpse of someone looking back at you, cloaked by the flurry of feathers. Look there, the mantle of feathers. We are in the court of birds, and there stands the Sky Mother.
You journeyed to my temple and rid it of the dragon. Now my faithful may return, singing their joy to the skies and praising me through their creation.
Life is creation and celebration. I'm glad to have served you. The breeze blows through the trees. A dove tucks its head into its feathers and watches you.
Glad because you seek to protect life, or because you seek a patron. And yet you have proven yourself with this task. I would tell you of another.
I'm listening. The birds return to the tree and nestle amongst their peers. The breeze ripples through the branches again, carrying the goddess's voice.
You must stop Theos, and you must undo the tragedy he has wrought.
Birds all over the tree begin to chirp and sing, and in the rise and fall of their voices, Hylia speaks. Theos moves, but is moved by another. The exiled queen whispers in his ear, urges him to rob the living and the unborn of their souls for her benefit, and he has obeyed. Woedica, huh? A hawk shifts on its perch. That would explain why he was in Woedica's temple under Defiance Bay. She will consume them, grow powerful while 1,000 empty children are born. But there is still time to reverse this tragedy. Why would Woedica do that? A pair of eagles shriek. Because she prizes authority over mercy, laws over kith. She values the souls of mortals not for the beauty they create, but for what they can add to her power. The wind blows cold. She fears animancy. She believes that mortals may use it to usurp the god's power. Her power. She cares nothing for the innovation of kith, and how could she? She gives commands, not inspiration. So animancy truly is that powerful. Connell looks thoughtful. I've always respected the commands of our Ranga Nui and the Keepers, but that is because they inspire respect. Between command and inspiration lies progress. Seems like Theos has been working with her for a while, eh? You know already that he has lived many lives. In each it has been her voice in his ear, guiding him to serve her ambitions, urging him to protect her interests. A lost expression falls. This is what the Leaden Key has been, for centuries. The melody of the birds grows mournful. And each of his lives has been one stanza after another in a song of devotion to the Oathbinder. Meaning no offense, but couldn't you guys do it? All of the gods, even Woedica, are bound by an oath. We sing one harmony and kith sing another. And though we may introduce a new melody in hopes that mortal ears will hear it and sing it back, we do not interrupt their chorus. To do so would unleash a cacophony between the gods, one that would overwhelm our song and yours. The breeze whips leaves around your ankles while the birds coo. But Woedica sings her tune to Theos. I would likewise sing mine to you. Okay, How do I fix things? The birds suddenly fall silent, watching you. The voice on the wind returns. Guide the trapped souls back to the bodies they were stolen from. Hollow-born children whose eyes have never seen the sun. You could restore them. Give their families hymns of joy after years of lament. The breeze tickles your ear. Peace and restoration give purpose to suffering. There is no meaning, no redemption in pain that does not lead to fulfillment. Symmetry demands that great rejoicing follow suffering such as this. I don't know if it's possible to truly undo the harm. Scotty flinches. Surely those wounds can heal. Or don't you think the long absences could be overcome? Oh, I didn't mean it like that. You hear the cry of a swift, soft, and plaintive. Perhaps the years cannot be forgotten, and for some perhaps it is already too late. But if you could restore even one soul, kindle one spark of life, raise one voice in joy, it would be worth it. There's another side to this. His tone is cautious. You've seen the consequences of a soul disjointed from its own cycle. Could these children ever truly return? You know, okay, I see what you're saying. Maybe they should find new lives, but thinking the goddess is going to help out a little with this, so... Okay, thank you, Hylia. I'll continue to Sun and Shadow.
When you reach the burial isle, you will find souls there that I have granted reprieve for their sins. I give these to you, for only they can bear you to safety on your journey down. And when you face Theos and the rotting fruits of his endeavors, remember the conversation we have had. In that moment, you will have power rivaling a god's. And after it, you will live in the world that you have chosen.
Okay, fair enough.
Choose Restoration, Watcher. Return the souls to the bodies they were stolen from. Swear to me that you will do this, and I shall give you power to make even Woodica quake.
Great wings.
I can be merciful and terrible, Watcher.
Great wings, dark against the sun, unfold behind the tree, casting a blinding shadow across the temple for the briefest of moments. Is she going to be insanely offended if I say I'd like to hear what the other gods have to say first?
Wait, I'm not done with you.
Pelagina, I know you don't like birds, but this is not the time. Birds wheel and pivot, showing a flash of pale feathers. Who is this that speaks in anger? Please, forgive her boldness, Hylia. Passion is but another side of my nature. There is nothing to forgive. The birds settle on the branches and regard Pelagina.
It's not often that any of our kind get the chance to speak to their... What should I call you? My mother? Father? Those words seem to fall short and yet be too generous, given our history.
The birds cock their heads, craning and twisting their necks to look at one another. You are angry with me.
What did you expect? Should I be happy? To be like this? To live like this? What kind of creator does this to her creation and abandons it in a world this cruel?
And should I have plucked you from your home, wrapped you in my wings, and brought you to a nest like this one? Some tranquil and harmonious place, far from the war chants and battle dances you love so well? A hawk shivers, ruffling its feathers. Tell me what you want.
All I've ever wanted from any of your kind is to take some responsibility. Any responsibility for what you've done. To us. To every one of the children you've abandoned.
Whew, I don't know if I should have brought Pelagina into this conversation. The birds flap their wings, rising from the branches. You are a song of ferocity, and one I love well. I hear your furor and rage, and it is music. Your prowess and valor leave a trail like a tapestry upon the world. I would not dampen your song, even with the comfort of my wings.
What does that mean? Come back here!
There is no response. Pelagina's fists clench in frustration. I'm sorry you didn't get the answers, Pelagina. You do deserve better.
We all deserve better.
Her shoulders slump in resignation. I think I can still go back and talk to her. So, alright, let's see what the other gods have to say. Rimmergon, let me guess, you want me to destroy the world somehow with the souls. You pray again, and the vision of the white plain emerges. The driving wind returns in a chaos of whirling snow. Something moves at the center of the blizzard, plotting but relentless. As the snowstorm gets closer, you see an aurochs, as colossal and slow as a glacier. Its shaggy white fur is matted with frost, but beneath it, ribs like a ship's frame protrude. The beast of winter. I've seen its shape prowling the walls of many an ancient ruin. A man, emaciated and almost naked, huddles at the beast's legs. His body is scored with lash marks. His nose and ears have been carved from his face. His black eyes pierce the white out. Aloth leans forward. By the wheel, it's Skane. Oh, Skane too. Okay, all three of them are going to show up now. The Aurochs stops and stands before you, enveloping you in the violent blizzard that surrounds it. Though its mouth does not move, the beast speaks in a deep, thunderous voice.
A clan of Glamfelin ventured from the White-Fat Wens to find the crack in the ice. When you sealed it, you damned their souls to a slow weathering here. One they had sought to escape.
Well, their souls will break down eventually.
Entropy is not the sudden, violent combustion of heat and flame. It is a slow progression. Fragment by fragment, the elements wear even the mountains to dust.
We are really going to pile up XP from talking to all these gods. Okay, Skane. The world shudders beneath you, and a great crack echoes across the white expanse. The ice splits at your feet, waves lapping through the rift. Alright, way to make an entrance, Andra.
The Watcher seeks something long lost. What is it you search for?
Well, I mean, all of these answers are technically correct. Understanding of who I was and what my past means now, I think, is the most accurate answer.
Your past is one of loss and sorrow. The key to it is Theos, a man who has been forgotten to you for many lifetimes.
Yet there is a greater plot at work here, Watcher. Theos acts not for himself. He is the Burned Queen's quiet slave, a master of secrets and schemes.
Theos is a winter gale, unseen by the world even while he carves and shapes it. Woodica directs him, sending him to wipe her enemies from Eora.
I do appreciate that all of the other gods are mad about Woodica.
And Animancy as well. He would see those secrets lost, the knowledge forgotten.
Palagina turns to you and speaks softly through a smug grin. If I don't make it through this, assuming it's not too much to ask, please tell the dukes that I did tell them so. I cannot do the Italian accent.
And he would see his mistress grow fat on the essence of thousands. For her, he has harvested the unborn souls of the Deerwood.
It's impossible to tell whether Skane's ragged expression is a smile or a snarl. What does Woodica want with all the souls?
To consume them, to collect her evaporating power, rebuilding what the turning ages have stripped from her.
Alright, guess that's why Rimmergon doesn't like it. Well, the real answer to why they all don't like it is just because it would make Woodica more powerful than them, probably. But
She would reclaim her status like an island of silt dredged from the sea.
With this fresh, raw essence, Woodica will seize power over those gods and kith who have refused to acknowledge her authority. The ultimate act of vengeance.
why does Theos hate Animancy?
He believes that some knowledge is best lost to mortals.
More importantly, Woodica despises it, and he yields to the will of the exiled queen in all things.
I see. I realize his methods have been questionable, but mightn't he be right? What now?
Theos has removed these souls from the cycle. They are ice melting in the sun. Let them fade.
Okay, that feels like a very Rimmergond kind of thing to say.
Let them forget this world and be forgotten by it.
Okay, Andra.
Take the souls she so desires and grind them into dust. Let her see her careful schemes thoroughly ruined.
That last one sounded a little nastier than the other two. Slightly different. Fade, forget, grind into dust. Yeah. For several seconds, the waves wash quietly against the ice, and the Aurochs stand silently amidst the churning flurries.
It is the destiny of all things to crumble and join the chaos that follows this world. Some seek it willingly, as you have seen.
To mingle, roiled and stirred by the tides of the universe. It is not an unkind fate.
What if I just called him out on his hypocrisy?
I am the beast of winter. I neither speed nor alter my path for the whims and desires of Kith. I take souls at the time of my choosing, be it mote by mote or in a sudden tempest of chaos.
Rimmergon. That's not an explanation, that's just, I'm the adult here. Okay, buddy.
These souls, they have already forgotten their place in this world. They have been lost to existence. Let them be memorialized and mourned for an age, and then forgotten entirely.
So, it's really an obvious question, but why do you oppose Boudica?
She desires to order chaos and shackle the agents of change in the world. Under her, all things would remain static and frozen according to her laws.
Even now, she only barely keeps the pact of the gods to leave the affairs of Kith in mortal hands. She moves in Theos where she cannot move directly.
Yeah.
And so we call on you to do the same. Such are the schemes of the queen that was.
Okay. Well, I'm looking for Theos.
When you reach the burial isle, we will send lost souls to guide you through the pit. This is our gift to you. What you do after you face Theos will be your choice, but we would have you set the stolen essence adrift.
Okay.
And whether you would heed us or no, understand that our end comes to all things eventually. Help us achieve it, and we shall reward you now with a power to rival Theos's.
But do not choose lightly. We forget nothing, least of all a betrayal.
Yeah. I'm getting pretty clearly that if I agree, like, if I make a promise to multiple gods, I think real bad stuff's probably gonna happen, such as getting smited by said betrayed gods. Pretty sure we gotta pick one.
Do not wait forever. We wait, but Theos does not.
Rimmergant continues towards you, swallowing you in a blinding, deafening snowstorm. You experience a dizzying, exhilarating disorientation, oblivious to the landscape around you, and even the reality of your own body. You hear a noise that could be the shrieking winds or Skane's screeching cackle, and then it recedes with everything else. Rimmergond reappears in the distance, trudging away from you, and the whiteout follows him. As the vision of snow fades, it leaves in its wake the flagstones of Teir Evron. I told him that I wanted to talk to the other gods, obviously. Alright, Barath. You want me to kill them somehow? I don't know what he wants, honestly. Maybe just to restore them to the cycle? But that's kind of what Hylia wants too. As you pray to Barath, you again find yourself on the road. Squinting into the distance, you see a short, pale figure waiting for you. At first you think it's another vision of Archdruid Restin, but then you notice this figure's skeletal frame and rictus grin. He stands in front of another skull gate, but the way leads down, not onward. He beckons for you to approach. Hey Jofu, I'm good, how are you? That must be the usher. Aloth's voice is low. Behind you is a woman, her skin milk pale against her black hair. She wears a suit of armor so dark it seems to suck the light from the stars. The road winds up a mountain behind her.
A toll, traveler.
And the pallid knight. Well, I don't know, let's follow the usher. He gives you a lipless smile and leads you into the skull's maw and down a long flight of stairs. The pallid knight follows close behind. It seems as if you're in a gigantic cavern. The ceiling curves up and away, and it's dotted with moisture. At this distance, the shining beads look like stars, clustered and scattered in constellations. Two identical cave mouths wait up ahead, and you follow the usher to one of them. Standing at the edge and gazing down, you see an endless, ever-changing plain bisected by a road. Only then do you realize that you're no longer on the road. As you follow the road to the point where it disappears below you, you realize you're standing in one of the eye sockets of a massive skull. The usher points to the road. Archdruid Restin appears below you. He's just as you remembered him, stern and smooth-skinned. Yet with each step along the road he grows, swelling with blood and essence. His heavy steps become slower and slower until he stops altogether. His distended body fills the path completely.
You met a dwarf traveling this road. What did you do?
Well, Reston had stood in place for too long. I set him moving again. The Pallet Knight's flesh is taut against her skull. She nods once, barely dipping her chin.
Life is kinetic. Forward motion. 100 beginnings and endings nested within 1,000,000 more.
As Reston's swollen body ruptures, the effect is like a dam bursting. Ghostly figures, as hazy and indistinct as wisps of smoke, continue along the cleared path. Some tumble and rush along, while others amble and drift, but all continue forward. The usher directs your attention to another figure moving down the path. This time you see Ovate Arona. As she follows the road, her movements become slow and erratic. Her legs creak with each step, and her feet grow long, thick roots that burrow into the ground. She finally stops, rooted in place.
You found a tree that had lived for centuries. Its roots were deep, and its boughs sheltered many. Why did you cut it down?
Well, let's just be honest here. Trees don't belong in the road. And I thought if it cleared it out, maybe the Lord of the Road would help me out a little. Or, well, this also, but...
The Lord of the Road does not trade favors. He grants passage and extracts his toll. Nothing more. But it may be that in serving his interests, you further your own.
Sure. Orona's body petrifies below, and the shimmering leaves of her hair blow down the path. You seek another who has lived his lives on the brink of the cycle. He sits on the inside of the wheel, observing its revolutions. With each life, he is plucked from the stream and returned to it intact. Why do you hunt, Theos? I seek a resolution. Confronting him, I'll put an end to the pain he's caused me. No, I don't know if Barath will like that, actually. But I'm gonna
The
say it
only
anyway.
resolution is a clean slate. An end that leads to a new beginning.
Okay, sure. Theos served Wodica. She desires an escape from her own cycle. Power without decline. Theos has removed thousands of souls from the cycle so that their essence might empower her. The black depths of her eyes threaten to swallow you. You must stop him, and you must return them to the cycle. Why does Wodica even need Theos' help? Why do you need mine? Okay. The gods guide souls through the cycle of death and rebirth, but Iora is the domain of mortals. We stand aside, weights and counterweights. Were one to alter the tides of Kith, all would follow. We would tip this world from its axis. That is why Wodica directs a mortal to do her bidding, and why any who would stop Theos must be mortal as well. Okay. What end would it serve to send them back into the cycle? Attending to these souls is a question of stability, Watcher, of maintaining the natural order of the world and the ebb and flow of essence. Couldn't they be returned to Hollowborn? As battered, burdened things. Do you mix soured wine with fresh? The kindness you seek lies in giving them a new beginning, not in shackling them to this life. Okay, I see what Barath's saying, too. He has at least a valid point. I'm definitely not doing Rimmergon's thing. Okay, I see what you're telling me. The usher gestures to the road and the starry expanse beyond, while the Pallet Knight speaks. I only show you the motion of the universe, Watcher. I obviously see what this has to do with me. Okay, I have to go to Sun and Shadow now.
No mortal can survive the descent into the pit. But there are souls on the burial isle that are pledged to me. I will grant them to you, and they shall bear you down safely, as well as light the way beyond.
A multitude appears at the other end of the road, raising their voices and kicking up dust as they make their way toward you. Return them to the cycle, Watcher. Promise that you will, and I shall give you power befitting a champion of death. The Pallet Knight raises a finger. Accept my favor, however, and I will demand this decision as your due. I collect from all mortals in time. Okay, yeah, I gotta talk to the other gods still. Do not delay long, Watcher. What Theos seeks to do cannot be undone, even by the turning of the wheel. The usher points behind you. When you turn, you find yourself standing again in Teir Evron. Thanks, Jofu. I do my best. We're just, we're talking to all the gods of this realm. They're all demanding I do various different things with the souls that, I've been chasing after. You know, it's complex at this point, but... Alright, Galawain. Yeah. God stuff, really. You kneel, prepared for the shift this time. The cool stone gives way to warm soil, soft and loamy. The candle smoke dissipates, replaced by the musk of the forest. The hound howls from the foliage. Howl back, as ever. Something leaps from the bushes nearby. You find yourself pinned on your back and staring into the amber eyes of a massive hound. The beast looks at you. Gleaming fangs protrude from the sides of its mouth. Its nose twitches as it inhales your scent, starting at your shoulder and proceeding down the length of your arm. You follow its nose to your hand, which is covered in blood. A tongue as red and meaty as a steak lolls out of its mouth and swipes your bloody hand. Its lips curl into what looks like a smile. The beast looks back at you. As it fixes you with its glowing eyes, its muzzle retreats into a long, bearded face, and its pointed ears lengthen, dropping to the sides of its head. What was a massive hound becomes a giant of a man, his broad, muscled shoulders draped with furs. He holds a flint knife to your neck and grins, revealing a row of long, pointed teeth. Well, that's one way to make an introduction, I suppose.
You have slain 2 mighty hunters. Blood flows in the maw, yet no victor emerges. Why have you denied me my champion?
If they were both weak, then neither was worthy, Galawain.
Worthiness is proven in conflict. Might grappling with might. Flesh tears, bones break, and the ones that mend are stronger still. Blood mixes, and the worthier substance rises to the top. And you have proven worthy.
Well, that's good to hear. Thanks, Galawain. He lets out a howl that rings through the air. He lowers his head, puffs of steam rising from his panting mouth. Twigs crunch and branches snap. The ground shivers under the weight of pacing, prowling footsteps. A dozen beasts, bears, wolves, and long-fanged cats, stalk out of the undergrowth, their matching amber eyes fast on you. Changeable fellow, isn't he? Kana turns to watch the gathering beasts. This is why I prefer fishing. As the beasts encircle you, their master rises to his feet. Even the largest of the bears can only reach his browned and muscle-knotted shoulders. You stand, mindful of the ring of predators surrounding you.
You sought and won the favor of Galawain. What new prey do you now pursue?
I hunt Theos.
To track a quarry, you must understand its movements. And Theos follows the path of a more powerful master.
Yeah, Wodaka, I did hear this from the other 3 gods. A warm breeze carries the smell of smoke and gunpowder. Sparks ignite and float in the draft, catching in the leaves over Galawain's head. A sudden blast of heat scalds your face, and even as you turn away, a flash of light sears your vision through your eyelids. When you look back, you see a woman in full plate standing next to Galawain. Her mirror-polished armor flickers with images of reflected flames. You can't see her face, but her voice is strong and clear like the ringing of steel.
Let him know his foe.
I probably should have brought Durance, but I didn't realize we were going to meet the gods properly in person instead of just getting visions.
Theos has trapped thousands of souls in sun and shadow, like rabbits in a snare. Now, he goes there to retrieve the kill for his master, Woodiga.
One of the bears paws at the ground in irritation, its hackles rising.
She will feast on them, suck their marrow, grow strong on their essence.
As a Stelgar watches you, it licks its lips, its tongue scraping long fangs. Why is Theos helping Wodaka?
Because he is her hound. He has always done her bidding.
His eyes dart to another figure standing just behind Makran.
Woodica stands for an old order. So does Theos.
A golem made of blackened, pitted iron steps out of Makran's shadow. Its movements are slow, yet precise, each footfall accompanied by the groaning and grinding of metal. The steady orange glow of furnace coals emanates from its eye sockets.
They both fear change, and the Deerwood has changed much recently. People find answers not in the gods, but in animancy, the product of their own labors.
Hi, Abaddon.
And why not? When they have learned that even a god can be killed.
I mean, you guys are directly responsible for ensuring that God got killed, so it's kind of on you. Yeah, she says that like it wasn't her own followers that unleashed the God Hammer. Okay, well, it doesn't seem to trouble you much. The three gods seem to look at one another. One of the wolves sits and scratches its neck with quick strokes of its hind leg.
The clash of ideas, the search for answers and meaning. These are other hunts.
That's fair enough. But they would supplant you. How can you accept this so easily?
This is the destiny of Kith, to struggle and transform, even through animancy.
Well, I can respect they hold to their ideals at least.
And to improve. Steady labor and earnest industry elevate Kith above Wilder and Beast. It is also useful that they should learn to improve their souls, whether through struggle, transformation, or labor. On this, at least, we have no disagreement.
If only all the gods' followers were as open-minded about animancy as you three. That's a bit better. I can't help but notice you still haven't stopped him.
There is a pact. One Woodica herself has just barely kept. We gods must allow mortals to direct their own affairs.
I assume Ethos broke the pact,
This limit keeps peace between us.
and that's why they gave us the bomb to kill him.
So Woodica directs Theos, and he does her will.
Pallegina sneers with contempt. Weaving through loopholes in a divine contract, I'm not surprised to hear the gods are just as unethical as mortals when it suits them.
It is not our fight.
Okay, what do you want me to do about it?
Track Theos. Follow the trail he has left for you, and corner him in sun and shadow.
You must stop him before he empowers Woodica.
And if you do, you will have a different decision to make.
Eloth's eyes widen. The gods mean to leave this in our hands.
Souls were ripped from the world, ripe and full and pulsing with essence. Scatter them like bones to a pack of dogs. Their essence will strengthen the souls of the Deerwood. Let the remains of the dead feed the survivors.
I don't know about that, Galloway. Why would I do that?
To breed strength. Power is born from the mixing of essence and blood.
The wolves snarl and snap.
What Theos did cannot be undone. Thousands of lives have changed, and thousands more have ended because of his actions. But transformation gives purpose to trial.
And improvement is the goal of all Kith. Long lives, prosperous futures, stronger minds and bodies. Strengthening those who remain will help repair the damage that Theos has done to the Deerwood.
Alright, well, I see what they're saying, but I don't think it's the right way to go. Options 2 and 3 are pretty much psychotic, so I'm gonna go with 4.
And when you descend the pit to sun in shadow, you can count on our assistance to see you safely through. As I hope we can count on yours when you reach the bottom. There are many souls upon the burial isle that are sworn to serve us. They belong to you now, and they shall guide your descent.
Pallegina snorts and advances toward Magron. I've danced to this tune before. You'll count on us to deal with whatever's down there, and we can count on you to take credit for it later. The beasts grow restless, pawing the ground and eyeing you with renewed interest. The bear sniffs at the ground next to your leg. One Stelgar skulks into the circle, its amber eyes glowing. Galloway hurls his knife between your feet, sinking it to its handle. He raises his empty hand. Pallegina has offended 2 gods now. That is not ideal.
Hunt him, mortal. And when you stop him, let the souls he has captured feed the Deerwood.
Strengthen the souls of those who remain. Prepare them to face the challenges that will follow. Pledge that you will do this, and we will grant you a power fit for the finest warrior who ever lived.
Betray us, and my beast shall track you down. Our allegiance is not to be accepted and cast aside.
Okay, well, let me just hear what the other gods have to say.
Consider and calculate, but decide.
Galawain's hand falls, and the growling pack lunges into the circle. The vision vanishes in an instant, returning you to Teir Evron, where burning candles replace the glowing eyes of Galawain's beasts. Okay, so we got 4 options here, really. Rimergond, along with Skane and Andra, want us to, quote, grind the souls into dust because they think it's fun to destroy things. Barath wants us to return them to the natural cycle, because he's the god of the cycle of death, and that's what he does. Galawain wants us to, and Abaddon and Magron want us to give them to the people who are still alive because to strengthen them, because somehow the other souls have failed or something, I don't know. And Hylia wants us to restore them to the people they originally came from, which frankly sounds like the most sane option to me. I mean, it's between that and Barath, I think, but I think Hylia's is definitely the most obviously good option. I think that's what we're going to go with. 1,000 birds alight on the tree in the temple. Hylia's voice carries on the breeze. Do you swear to return your oath, Watcher? Do not underestimate my power. I am a mighty friend to those who are faithful. Aye, I swear to return souls to the hollow-born children of the Deerwood. And I shall remember. The dark wings snap shut, and the tiny sparrow flits to your shoulder. It tilts its head back and opens its beak, and the song that spills forth is like nothing you've ever heard. Melodies at once mournful and beautiful entrance you. The world becomes a place of pure color and sound. Each perfect moment follows the next, like the lines of a poem or the bar of a song. Okay, I got a boon. You awaken as if from a dream, standing in Teir Evron. Hylia's song and the power of her blessing follows you still. Alright. Got a blessing. Thanks for watching, adventurers. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing. Have a nice day, adventurers. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.